safety talk first on how we work around voice, okay? Voice is very sensitive. We have like very small muscles. When we talk about the voice, we're talking about the vocal folds, right? Or you might have called or heard them be called vocal cords, right? And these are very sensitive muscles. So if you have any medication, for example, spironolactone or other medications that I don't know the name of, that can be drying to the vocal folds, consider trying to work around them and make sure to always stay hydrated. Water is your best friend. And I know some of you only drink Monster, and I get it, trend's icon thing, but please drink water for your practice sessions. It's going to make it much easier for you. All right? So always listen to your voice, listen to your body, and if your voice starts to feel fatigued or tired in any way, shape, or form, please rest for the time being. You do not want to overexert yourself and kill your voice for no reason. Otherwise, you're going to be able to practice less, and that's not what you want. So I was talking about drying medications. So technically, there's also other things like drinking alcohol or smoking or any kinds of activities that can include some drying of the voice. So make sure that you work around those. I'm not telling you what you should do with your life. Ultimately, body autonomy is reigns supreme, okay? So, but just as a suggestion, try to avoid doing voice practice or using your voice in any strenuous way when you are engaging in any activities that can dry and thus fatigue your voice much quicker, okay? Again, on the topic of voice being dry and unresponsive or uncooperative, make sure not to use too many breathy sounds. Some of the exercises we're going to see today might include breathy sounds such as a breathy sound or a whispery sound. And these are just air, rubbing past your vocal folds. What a lisp. And so that air that is not being converted into voice, well, that air or will contribute to drying your voice. So there's actually a reason for why we might do some of these whisper or breathy exercises. They help us hear resonance, or what we also call vocal tract size, which is one of the most, if not the most important way, or most important component of voice that we use to feminize or masculinize the voice. Okay? So, I propose that we do some warm-up together. Why not? For this, you're allowed to unmute your microphones, and it's encouraged. You don't have to do it if you're shy, but if you want to go ahead, we'll do a little bit of a vocal warm-up. Vocal warm-ups are super important to get our voice, warmed up, right? Just like any muscle, if you have to go do a sprint or go on a run or jogging, you definitely want, to first warm up your legs before you do any strenuous effort. The voice is no different to that. So let's try and do this. Oh. Try it out. Oh. Very good, nice. Let's try a slide this time. Oh. Very good, awesome. We might want also to try different sounds. Can you guys hold a Z, like zzz? Give it a try. Zzz. Awesome. Now let's try to slide with that. Nice. Very good. Awesome. So what this little warm-up serves as is to basically warm up the voice, and we do this on sounds such as O or Z, and even J sound like in jar, J, or V as in variable. I don't know, I have a random word. And the point of these vocal function exercises or these vocal warm-ups are to kind of close the mouth a little bit. So with the O sound, the lips are in the way, O. With the Z sound, the tongue is in the way. And that kind of makes the vocal folds have a less pressurized space and a more relaxed space to get warmed up into, okay? So this is the reason for why we do these warm-ups. So congrats on doing these warm-ups. First warm-up of the year for some of you, perhaps. All right. So now we are ready to get started. We have done the explanation and some vocal warm-up. Thank you for participating on that. And now I'll be inviting upstage someone who wants to feminize their voice. Please raise your hand or use the hand emoji, or jump in place if I can't see you. So if anyone is interested in coming up stage, I don't see any hands. No? I see Sifrin. Okay, come up stage. All right, applause for Sifrin.
I actually
Sorry?
want Wombat to go on stage.
Oh, you want Wombat? Okay, Wombat, go ahead. Applause for Wombat. All right, come closer.
Hello
An
there.
invite.
Yes.
Hello there. All right.
We'll see about that.
No worries. Okay, so, all right, we'll get started. We have like 10 minutes starting from now. So let's go. Okay, so Wombat S or Wombat, you came here to feminize your voice. What is it that you'd like to work on? What bothers you about your voice?
So I've been practicing quite a bit, and I have muscles to adjust all the aspects, all the like pillars of the voice, but I cannot find the combination that actually sounds really convincing and not stressed out and doesn't exude the what is called uncanny valley stuff. So that's kind of what I want to figure out.
Okay, so like you want to stop sounding like an AI or something like that? No, I'm kidding. So
no. I want to stop sounding like an AI.
Okay, fair enough. So you're experiencing like your voice doesn't feel natural, doesn't sound natural to you, perhaps. I already hear a lot of feminine components of your voice, so I think you're already really well on that path. So let's see. You know what? We'll do some reading really quick. I just want to hear how you speak a little bit, kind of like pay more attention to your voice. Can you see these sentences up there on the board?
Yeah, I can see it on that board.
Okay. I watch here, you watch here, so
good
it
morning.
looks like we're speaking.
How are you? Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Okay, cool.
How
How
are
about
you?
the next one?
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Okay, keep going.
I've got to take my hormones. Are you really sure about that?
Okay, good.
I think I have craving for pickles. And I totally agree with that.
Me too.
That can't be right.
Good.
Also, I don't see it on the slide, but Baha is my favorite shark.
Yes, no, it wasn't the obvious. You're right. This is a problem. I have to fix it. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
Okay, so very good. Already here, I hear you're intonating quite a lot. Hello, good morning, how are you? No, that can't be right. So to me, it already sounds quite natural. Perhaps if I have to like make one comment about your voice, is perhaps that your resonance might be a little bit dropping at certain points. By resonance, I am referring to the average size of the vocal tract, so where your neck is. If your larynx or Adam's apple is
really low, then you get like a really dark sound. But if your Adam's apple is really high, then you get a mostly feminine sound, right? And so I think you already are mostly at a higher resonance, but perhaps certain sounds and certain words might be
I actually can
triggering
add
your
to
resonance
that
to
a little.
drop. Yes?
I can actually add to that, as when I was starting to practice with my larynx, I found that my previous singing experience helped, but it also made me automatically to in the like highest larynx position to like widen my mouth quite a bit, and I was trying to fight it at some point, and like even though my larynx position is still the same, it is like still modifying it quite a bit. And like I was trying to
Okay,
figure this one
interesting.
out as well.
So you're worrying that your mouth might be changing your resonance
Yeah,
too
so
much,
it's
or like
like
it's too big.
so the larynx stays at the very top, and the mouth shape, the mouth root, can actually like quite modify the sound that exists. So right now I try to be more narrow, but I can try starting to widen it up. And even though my larynx is exactly in the same place, I start sounding really different.
I see. Well, widening it out, like not that exaggerated, to be fair. But yeah, I see
Mm-hmm.
what you're coming to. So okay, resonance can be modified in different ways. Let's take a look at this. So the vocal tract size or the resonance. This might be a little bit hard to read, so um, let me know if you struggle to see this. But basically, when you're referring to the larynx being up, you're basically making the pharynx, the pharyngeal size much smaller, right? The Adam's apple is like here, and if it goes up, well, then you have effectively reduced the space, right? But it's not the only
Mm-hmm.
thing that you change resonance with, right? Here, your mouth can definitely also play a role in how, well, big the whole vocal tract is, because after all, the vocal tract is, your nose, your mouth, your neck, well, which we call the pharyngeal space, the pharynx, and then all the way down to your lungs. But you don't really count the lungs as the vocal tract size because I don't think we can feminize lungs by making them smaller.
Unless
Um,
I actually
yeah.
can produce sound with like the lungs as the resonance, but it sounds a little bit demonic.
How so? Show me.
Do you want a little? Do you want?
1 second.
Ah, yes.
Do you really want to know that?
Yes,
It's a
I
little bit
really
too
want to
quiet.
know this.
Yes.
I totally get you.
Yes,
What you just
if you
what
want
just
to
did
glow.
Yeah.
what you just did there is real interesting. It's what we call aggressive speech. It's what happens when you speak by breathing in, right? That's aggressive speech.
Yes.
It's also like a really good way to
Mhm.
get close to like the Stephen Hawking voice.
I wish that I could see the universe one day.
I don't know, something like that, or the Windows TTS.
Mhm.
But we are getting off rail, and I don't want to waste your time here.
Yes.
So your mouse space is going to play a role. I generally don't like to get people to modify their mouse space too much because that can introduce, in certain cases, although extreme, it can introduce some form of lisp or it can completely warp the vowel. For example, your ooh sound could become like an oo, and like maybe you might not want to say that, right? I don't know, like the blue zoo becomes the blue zoo, which might be heard in certain accents, but again, it would be changing your accent altogether. So I'm guessing you're not an English native speaker. I hear a bit of an accent, perhaps. So I'm guessing you don't really care if it changes too much. You might be aiming for very bright, no matter what, or
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to like see what like your voice goal
No, no, no,
is.
no, no. I confirm everything.
Okay, cool. So
Everything.
what I would advise to you is to probably work on certain vowel sounds. Let me just get a slide that will help us do this. All right, perfect. Here we have sentences that are focused on doing sounds by vowel. So each vowel is a lip shape and a tongue shape. So if I do an ah sound,
Mhm.
ah, my mouth is really open. If I do instead an oh sound, then my lips are rounded. Oh, right? Maybe the VR avatar doesn't show it too well, but you know, that's what kind of physically happens. The shape of your face, of your lips, and of your tongue play a role in how your voice sounds like. Like if I like speak with like really lazy lips, then I sound like this, and it sounds really silly. So let's take the ah sound, right? Can you match my pitch here? Ah. Okay, great. So what you can try and do here is take that ah sound and try to shape it. You can try and bring your tongue a little bit higher, but you want to be careful not to bring it so high in your mouth that you kind of like reach the roof and completely change the sound. You might go from ah to ah to ah, right? By raising your tongue and perhaps your larynx alongside it. You know, sometimes if your tongue is too low, it kind of blocks your larynx from going any higher. So make sure that your tongue also moves alongside your larynx. Yeah, okay, so give that a try. Match my ah here. Let's try and make it really dark.
Oh.
Give that a try.
Without the vocal weight? This low vocal weight?
It's not low vocal weight. It does sound hollow. I give you that. But
No,
it's
no, no,
going
no,
to
no,
be
no. I mean,
by lowering the resonance.
bringing only the resonance.
Oh yes, we're only doing the resonance, yeah. So, but match my pitch. Okay, and now let's try to scale it up. Awesome. And with that, careful, that's a bit too far. You went from to
Yeah, it's a little bit too high.
Is and
It's a little bit too
the
nasal.
same vowel? Exactly, it's nasal. It's not. So the one you did
It
right
sounded
before
like the false vocals were
was
engaged.
just fine, right? So from there, try to take that ah again. You can scale it back up. And then try to read the sentence. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
This mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, very good. And now try to break the monotony a little bit. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Awesome, great.
I think I dropped out on the mat.
I think it worked out. You think it what on the mat?
I think
felt
I
like it dropped a bit?
like overpressed it. Overpressed a little.
Oh, like
So it was like not
May-
mad, but mad.
okay, yeah, you like increased the weight. Yeah, you pressed it a little bit, yeah. But it
Yeah.
wasn't like taking me off. Like I was like, yeah, that sounds good. It wasn't like
Okay.
that mad brat sound. It was like very like gentle. Okay,
Okay.
so I see that we are here done with our 10 minutes. In all honesty, I think you have a very solid voice to go off with. What I would recommend is honestly, you are in the polishing phase. You are like pretty much on the end of your voice training. Perhaps you might have different goals, like reaching like a feminine voice that's even at higher pitches, or perhaps working with a femme voice that is at lower pitches, right? So perhaps you have these different goals, but in when it comes to passing, I think you're doing really well. Just watch out that you're, as you said yourself, not overpressing the voice, that you stay soft or at least consistent with the vocal fold mass, right? You can like be a little bit pressed and that's not gonna like get you misgendered, right? Like this. Or you can be like really soft, for example, but like you want to stay soft. You don't want kind of like to jump like kind of like around like that mad brat sat on that flat mat. That kind of would sound really uncanny and weird. But yeah, good job. You actually do really well with the resonance slide. Watch out that shaping your mouth shape doesn't cause you to warp the vowel to a nasal sound, like you noted as well. And yeah, you should be good out there. So yeah, congrats and thank you for coming up stage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Applause
Thank
for
you.
Wombat. Okay,
I would clap, but it would turn on my
now
Thank you.
I will have someone who wants to
Masculinize.
their voice, who wants to
Masculinize.
their voices. Anyone have their hands raised? Why is there always more people on the left than on the right? Is it because I always look at the left? Okay, I see Skerrick. All right, Skerrick, come up stage. Come on, come on, come on. Applause for Skerrick. I can't clap anymore. Hello there.
Hi. I didn't expect to get picked again.
Well, I didn't see anyone else, or maybe like your avatar is so bright I see you, but
Yes, I'm visible. Let's
you
change
are.
up. I'm on T now. Only
No
almost
way!
a
Let's
month.
go! Woo!
Yay!
nice.
But I have funny problems. It's changing, and I don't know what to do with it.
Oh no, the voice is changing. What do we do? I propose we take the time here. Let's go. Let's get started 10 minutes from now. All right. So, my boy Skerrick has been taking some testosterone. What's happened to your voice?
Not a whole lot, but it's easier to add the weight now than it was before. Like last time, what we did was just entirely.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quite there yet in the very low ranges, but
Why-
it's
why am-
getting a lot easier. And I've definitely my voice is.
Why am I
been
getting
going down a
such
little.
solid Swagger Souls vibes from you? It's-
No, not you too!
No,
I
I'm
was
sorry,
just
I'm
about to say people keep calling me Swagger Souls now.
Hey, honestly, if that's not a sign that T's working out for you. I mean,
I'm just turning into Swagger Souls, guys.
can help you now.
Yes. I mean, there's worse things that
Yes.
could happen if you go into.
no,
It's
definitely there's worse things, you know. Okay, cool. So let's get resuming to where we left off last time. I think we're good here. Let's try some sentences. Okay, show me. What's
yeah.
your most
Mask voice. Yeah, you want to sound like
The Swagger
you want
Souls
to sound like
guys.
Swagger Souls.
Oh no.
The Swagger Souls. Yeah.
No, that's not how it sounds like.
That sounded
I
like
should
more
have
of
just
a
do a
voice from
sentence
Billy
then.
and Mandy.
That mad
Yeah.
brat sat on the flat mat. That mad brat. I can't go that low yet.
Yeah.
That mad brat sounded a flat mat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That mad brat.
Uh-huh.
That mad brat.
Okay, let's get started with a higher pitch and let's go down. Let's see how we get comfortably down to lower pitch. Okay, so let's start here.
Nice.
Uh,
Uh,
uh, nice. 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 Let's hold out a little bit. Uh, 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 uh. Nice, awesome. Let's keep going down. We're getting there. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds already more easy than last time. Okay. Getting difficult? Or are you doing okay?
I'm doing the thing where I push my chin back in an attempt to go lower.
You're putting your chin back? What do you mean?
I don't know, it's just.
Yeah.
It helps, it helps.
Just
I promise.
If it helps you. Let's go even lower. Okay, nice. Let's do this.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah,
Let's
that
go.
mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on the flat mat. Okay, I can't sustain it
Okay.
well.
Not my brat, not on my farmer.
So it's quite soft. Let's see if we can add some weight to it. Do you remember what we did? Yeah, we turned Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. So
Pushing tables.
Yeah, we're pushing tables, or we pushing the floor like we're doing push-ups. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
okay. Let's try this. Try to go a bit louder. That can help.
Why am I going like?
Okay.
I felt like I went very nasal there.
Okay, so what happened here, and this is interesting, is you actually ended up going a bit more overfull. So you did like this, right? And that overfullness is kind of like a byproduct of your resonance being a bit high and your vocal fold becoming thicker, right? So imagine like the glass of water. I think I
Right.
already made the analogy. Like if the glass of water is really small,
But like the weight is really great.
then you get like
A really overfull, pressed voice.
right? So you want to make sure that
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
increase the mass, you don't do but instead match it with like a lower resonance. Yeah.
I see. I don't know if I can do that
Yeah.
yet, but I can certainly try.
It's okay. It's always a matter of combining two aspects of voice. It can be a bit difficult, but we can get there. Okay, so we're back here.
Yes.
You can also go back to the pressed sound you had, and then lower the resonance.
That mad brat.
Give that a try.
Sorta. Was that it?
Yeah,
Did I
sort
do
of.
something?
Sort of. Okay, let me give you a little tip here for resonance. Remember what we did with whispers, perhaps a little while ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We scale the
That
whispers
thing.
down.
I can't go lower.
Okay.
I didn't
no,
quite
it's
get
good.
that.
Okay, and from there, careful not to make it into an O shape. You're changing your mouth, and that's coming back to what I saw with the person right before you, which is if you change the shape of your mouth too much, you go from an A to an O, and then you're not brightening the same way. You're changing the vowel. You might want it to be more like a. Always ask yourself, am I saying pat that cat? Or am I saying pat that cat? Right?
Ah. Right.
Yeah. Are you talking about a pot or are we patting a cat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
So.
Perhaps that's a bit difficult. Try and set a slide.
Mhm.
Okay, you actually cut off. You actually cut off. That's okay.
Okay.
What matters most is that you did it. And from there, let's bridge back into a pitch. Any pitch you want, really.
I think I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's we're playing around, right? It's a lot about exploration, right? It can be tricky. So, what we can do now is we go back down to that lower pitch. Match my pitch.
Sorry. I can't go there anymore. It's gone.
No, you can't. You can't. Okay. Nice. And now try to increase the mouse.
Is that it?
Yes. Okay. Make sure you keep it in an ah. You hear like an r. So ah. open mouth. If your mouth is bigger, it can make the sound darker too, right? Right? Listen to the difference. Okay, sorry. Small mouth. Big mouth. Quite dark, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, I'm getting off track. So I think
No
what's
worries.
making that component of that swaggerish sound, we're gonna call it swaggerish. It's canon now. Sorry for those who don't have the reference. It's a YouTuber, I think Twitch streamer too. It's kind of like that nodal quality. What is nodal? It's
Yeah.
like a singing term, whatever. But what it means is that you're bringing your tongue back. You said it yourself. You're bringing the chin back, and so that kind of can create a constriction. I think we talked about Kermit the Frog before, and like so basically like swaggosaurus is like a very light Kermit sound, right? It's like I'm not
Oh
really
my
good
god,
at
you're
it.
right.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're right. Right, exactly. Like if you were not, then like it would like be a very different texture, right? Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god, you're right. So it's like a little constriction at the back. So
That's
that
wild.
tongue motion is contributing to that aspect. If you want to avoid it, then I would suggest that you leave your tongue be in a more natural position, kind of like just laying flat and not being like too back in your mouth. Okay?
Okay.
So, what did we learn today? You want first of all, do practice again with some of the whispers exercises. You might have left it be there last time because we did maybe something more voiced. But what I want to say here is careful. You said it yourself. It sounds kind of nasal. Not nasal, but it was pressed. It was overfull. Perhaps it is
Right.
because when you increase the mass, you might actually like have the resonance shoot back up instead of staying low. So it's a matter of
True.
kind of balancing out the low resonance with the weight. What I recommend is either practice from a really low hollow point, like you start with like a low pitch with like a low resonance, and then you try and increase the mass. You might want to have like your fingers on your neck. Maybe you feel your Adam's apple more with the testosterone, perhaps not. And if you do this, that's with the larynx not moving up. But if you have then you know that your larynx is moving up, and that buzziness, that seeming buzziness that you might conflate for the increase of weight might just be a reduction of the space and a higher resonance.
True.
So that's one way. You can also start with a heavier sound. It doesn't matter where you are at resonance-wise.
You can like really, really thick up there, and then take the pitch down a little bit, and then bring the resonance down. That mad brat sat.
So perhaps that's another way. We didn't have time to practice on that one, but that might be another way that you can achieve a low resonance, a bigger vocal tract, and an increased vocal weight. And yeah, that's the time we have for today. Congrats
Hell
getting on
yeah,
testosterone.
awesome.
Good job.
Hey, thanks.
And yeah, thank you for coming up stage. See you next
Thank
time.
you for having me again.
All right, awesome.
What an interesting voice that was. Or what an interesting voice work that was, rather.
I will have this time a femme voice. I am trying to spot for my friendly trans girls out there. Oh, I see someone here. I can't see your name. It's like behind a window of light. It starts with a V, I think. Vivisor? Is that you? Yes, Vivisor. Come up stage. All right, welcome Vivisor up stage. Ooh, okay. Hello there.
Hi.
What's up? Hello.
Hi. Yes. So I kind of just started and just been playing around with trying different ranges. And
Yes.
really my main issue is trying to get the resonance bright enough. My normal speaking voice is really low, like around 100 hertz, but
Okay.
I-
Yes.
I think pitch is okay. I'm just trying
think
to get resonance a little brighter. I'm not really my falsetto yet either.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
So-
Yeah, I was expecting us to start from the bottom, but you surprised me. Okay. You know,
Coming from the bottom now.
we're here, right? Oh,
I do
say
singing, so
100.
I'm a little used to it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah, let's go. What you sing? Like, you have like a preferred
musical-
genre that you sing?
Musical theater mostly.
Oh, nice. That's
So,
fun. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So generally, like, if you already do stuff with your voice, if you like to do voice acting or singing, that helps a lot, right? It gives you a bit more connection to your voice and a bit more awareness on how to use it. So that has proven to be decisively effective for you. So great. So I'm confused. So you say that you worry that your resonance might be a bit too dark. Is that it?
It
'Cause I
doesn't
heard you go
sound
at
bright enough.
Yeah, so when I
Okay.
I can lighten and keep it dark. Yeah,
And then when I
okay.
try to go up brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, there's like a gap that I'm not quite able to, like, I can reach up to it somewhat, but I'm not able to find that next step.
I can kind of like reach it somewhat, and then when the next step. Okay, so like, do you struggle to like hold that voice up there, or is there like
I struggle to hold the placement, the larynx placement.
the placement? Okay, like it kind of like goes down eventually, like over time, and like kind of like results like a more masked voice, or does
Yeah.
also the pitch drop alongside it and like go lower, or
I think I can hold the I think I can hold the pitch. I'm just gonna stay in my voice for the rest of this, so it's easier. I
okay?
think I can hold the pitch. It's just that it doesn't quite, like, I'm having to put in considerable effort to keep my larynx up, and it's not quite at the level where I'm, like, I feel like I can be brighter still, but I'm not able to maintain it.
Oh, okay. So is it like more of a physical effort, or is it more of a mental effort? You're like thinking actively of like, okay, like don't let it drop, don't let it drop, don't let it drop.
Oh, squirrel.
Oh no, don't let it drop. You know?
A little of both. There's a lot of tension in my voice, and I'm trying to, like, my larynx is still sitting fairly low even right now, and I can't quite get it.
Even right.
Like, yeah.
Okay. I mean, low relative to where you started, like, okay, cool. Position is not
Yeah.
everything. Honestly, I already hear a lot of brightness in your voice. I think what you might be struggling more with is like too much tension, a struggle to hold it, kind of like you are having this issue of the gravity of voice behavior, right? We kind of are pulled back to what our usual voice behavior is, right? So typically you might start up here and like eventually like it might like go back down there, and like you have to consciously think of bringing it back up. And so the same goes the opposite way for trans-mask voices. So I'll say that you're dealing with tension, so that's interesting to note. First of all, when I hear you raise your resonance, when you go brighter, right, I also notice that you raise your pitch alongside it. So I'm wondering, what methods or what techniques, exercises have you used to bring your voice to where it is right now?
Probably like going through like whisper a little bit, and also I was kind of doing both at once just to make it more quickly to get to the voice. But yeah, like I can raise resonance and still be bright. Like this is my normal pitch, but this is
Yes.
where I'm at with brightness, right?
Okay, so
But there's still a lot
this
of
is
tension.
yes, like you're like down here, and like if you like,
And it actually doesn't sound that bright to me. Like I definitely hear the brightness when you increase the pitch, but I feel like you might be conflating the two still together perhaps a little bit.
like if you're like talking down here, if you actually had the resonance that you had when you were like talking up there, then like you wouldn't sound like this. You would probably sound more like this, like a little bit more like buzzier, right? So I think that definitely when you bring your pitch up, you're bringing both the resonance and the pitch up, and that's not a bad idea, right? Because honestly, it's a pain in the ass to. Sorry for the wording. It's really difficult to like keep a low pitch with a really bright resonance. So honestly, it's probably better that way. It's too difficult. But okay, let's see what we can do. Why don't we take some sentences and see how we can normalize it? I want to take a look at intonation with you. Okay, so how do you bring your voice up? Like, do you do like a and just jump to it?
I can
I can usually just find a pitch and just keep with it or whatever. I just move around, right? But
Okay.
with the brightness, it's like I'm thinking, singing in the mask versus being, back here, like instead of belting out a low, bass baritone like note, I'm trying to like force forward, but it's not like that mental thing doesn't affect this really too much. So
Okay,
I'm trying
right.
to, yeah.
I don't really use terms like mask or resonance in the face or whatever.
Sure.
That's very personal to person, and it's a thing
Sure.
that's really like from like classical singing. I try to avoid it because it doesn't really carry over from person to person, right? Like what you feel is your mask is not how I feel how my mask is, right?
Sure.
And so let's rather think about the sound, right? Brightness is what? It's as opposed to like darkness, right? A bright sound at what is this pitch? A sharp 3. It sounds like this, right? Yes, very close. But you can also get a dark sound at that pitch.
That would like be a really dark sound, like very akin to like the Patrick Star voice, right?
But it's the same exact pitch, and you hear like
One sounds really hollow.
and one sounds like normal, like balanced between like the resonance and the given pitch, right? Sorry, between the resonance and the weight, the vocal fold mass. The vocal fold mass refers to how thick your vocal folds are or how thin your vocal folds are, right? So we're just generally going to be talking about weight and resonance in these terms. Now
Sure.
that this is out of the way, try and hold this pitch for me. Okay, what I'm hearing is the following. So it's really soft. It's like almost hollow. Perhaps like if we boosted the resonance a little bit, we could have like a brighter voice. Or perhaps if you made the sound a little bit thicker, not too much, but just a little bit, and have like a little bit more mass. So basically trying to go a little bit louder, right? That could help out. Like that, right? Exactly. You get like already a more full sound. And from that, can you try and say, ashes to ashes?
Ashes to ashes.
Awesome, very good. Now, can you try and say that sentence up there? Hello, good morning, how are you?
Hello, good morning, how are you?
All right, awesome. Now let's try and break the monotony. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good
Hello.
morning.
Yes.
Hello,
Nice.
good morning, how are you?
And this is interesting, how are you? You. The pitch drops here a lot, right? So,
How are you?
okay, that works. How are you? It's not that going down in pitch is bad. No. What's quote unquote bad, rather, I should say, what brings you back to your masculine voice behavior is the fact that you might still link low pitches with low resonance. How are you? And to be fair, that pitch is like a C sharp 3. You're going from up from like a D4, D sharp 4, like musical terms since you do singing, yeah? It's like D sharp 4 down to C sharp 3. It's like a whole octave down. And so you might not want to go that far low. Generally speaking, when we talk about feminine voices, we have a tendency to want to not go below E3. Let me just show you this really quickly. So like, generally speaking, these are the ranges. I don't know, can you see the slide? I'm not sure if it loaded for you yet. Yes. So generally, these are the ranges that we will tend to hear in most feminine voices from E3 to E4 and above. And for masc voices, something more from like F2 to F3. But, I can talk around the E3. Like I can like talk down there and still sound feminine, right? So these are more like suggestions so that you can really hear effects of feminization or masculinization effectively. If you choose a pitch that's too high and you try to masculinize that high pitch, it's going to sound hollow. Like, okay, I talk up here and
I try to masculinize my voice by making it darker, and that sounds too hollow.
the same applies for a femme voice.
If I choose a pitch that's too low, well,
If I choose a pitch that's too low and I,
brighten it, then I'm gonna sound kind of like more androgynous or like perhaps sort of unnatural. And so here in your case, when you did, how are you? You went way, well, like one octave down, but you definitely went below what you expect from a feminine voice. It's not unheard to do, how are you? Like go down to C#3, but hear the difference. How are you? And how are you? Can you tell the difference here?
There's one that was a little brighter.
Exactly. The second one is more brighter because you want to work on pitches that are lower, right? If your range is like la 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 la, and the brightness only comes at higher pitches, and you haven't worked on pitches that are lower in your feminine range, then these might trigger old behaviors of your masculine voice, which is a lower resonance typically. So definitely be careful with that. And yeah, honestly, like you have a very solid baseline for your voice. I think it just takes a bit of confidence, a bit of practice. Definitely record yourself and listen back. Like not like oh, I'm gonna record myself for 20 minutes straight. No, just something more like, hello, good morning, how are you? And then just play it back real quickly. Hello, good morning, how are you? Oh, I hear it. You. It's a bit dark, right? So you can like do little snippets of voice, do like a quick feedback response loop of yourself. How are you? And then take that low pitch. You. Ask yourself, is that pitch too low? You. Okay, that's a D3. Actually, speaking at a D3 in a feminine voice is something that you can do, right? So, but that takes some work to brighten. So take that D3 pitch,
start really dark,
then brighten it. How are you? And then you can try again. How are you? Right? And make that more feminine sounding. Eventually, that's one of the options. Feminizing the low pitches that you use in your intonation, in your pitch behavior. But you can also completely avoid it. That was your second attempt. You did, how are you? And then you did, how are you? Right? So you can also go less low. That depends on what your voice goal is. Are you looking for a more low femme voice, a more medium average femme voice, or a more high femme voice? That is entirely up to you. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so you're welcome. Our 10 minutes are over. So best of luck with your practice. You did great. Especially when you came up like,
okay, I need some help, and
I can actually do this already. So I was like, okay, she's already quite ahead. Yeah. So yeah, good job, Advisor.
Thank you.
Best of luck practicing. And yeah, applause for Advisor.
Alright.
I probably butchered that name. Okay, so since it's New Year 2024, organization was a bit all over the place. So I will have the next person be a trans masculine voice, or a voice masculinization lesson, but it will be shorter. Yes, Trey?
Okay, just a heads up. We only have 8 minutes left, and we need to end stream on time.
How many questions do we have?
We have 3 online.
Okay, cool. So what I will do is I will take someone up. I will do like 1 minute per question, and I'll have the person for 5 minutes. Okay? So whoever wants to masculinize their voice, come up stage, please. Okay, come up stage. I should perhaps have someone. No one's interested. We have no trans mask voice users, really. Fake Razor? Okay, come up stage. Come on. No, it's Ramya VT. Is that you? Yeah?
Akemi.
Akemi, I can't see you. Where are you?
What?
Okay, come up stage.
Oh.
Come on.
I probably look like a tiny Among Us. I apologize for that.
Where are you? Oh, you're here. Okay, cool. Come up stage. Come closer.
Hello. Give me. Hold on,
Let's
let me
get
give.
started.
Hold on, let me.
All right.
Let me look more presentable.
Yes.
Give me a second.
Okay, no worries.
This one might not work, but I'm not sure. Okay. Hello.
Let's hope. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So no worries. Masculinize your voice. Is that right?
Yes, I do.
All right. Have you done any voice masculinization before or not at all?
I have done a little bit. I am a bit of a singer. I've been learning how to like make it a bit lower. Yeah. Let's see how
Okay,
low
cool.
I can go. I can go somewhere around here, but it's not perfect. I can, but I can tell I'm like getting there. I think.
Okay, I'm kind of monitoring your voice as you're getting lower.
Okay.
So I kind of see not a limit, but like a soft limit around like F sharp free, F free. I don't know if you really work with pitches like that or if you kind of like sing by ear.
I
Free.
kind of mostly sing by ear,
Okay.
but yeah.
Cool. All right, let's try this together. Let's find your lowest pitch together. All right,
Alright.
match my pitch. Ah. Okay. Ah. Nice. Okay. Ah. Oh, nice. I underestimated you. You go down to E3. Okay, can we go any lower?
Let's see. Shoot. Wrong note.
Okay, so yeah.
There we go. Okay.
And even lower.
I love how I'm like
The motion
down.
helps, you know.
Down into the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, cool. So we go down to a D3. Can you try and do that note again? Okay. It's a bit breathy. Try to like little taps, like Okay. Do you now have to do creak this sound like
I can kind of. I kind of sound like I'm choking.
It's okay. It's okay. Do it gently. Nice. Okay. So now that you're at that low pitch, you're gonna try and add creak so as to encourage your vocal folds to close more together. Right now your is a bit breathy, like so we want to get the vocal folds to close a bit more. To get a more full sound. Give it a try. Nice.
Almost
Okay,
got there.
that might take. It's okay. It's okay. That might take some practice and some work, but let's also talk about, with the limited time we have left, about resonance. You know, about the thing that like makes you go from like really bright to really dark. And so you already have quite a low pitch, and I already hear that your resonance is kind of tracking down. So can you just give me a really quiet whisper? Say like, hello. Awesome. Okay, now let's take that and say the words pat that cat. Pat that cat. Pat that cat. Okay, now we're gonna make that darker. Pat, 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 pat. As dark as you can.
Pat, pat, pat.
Awesome. And from there, they're gonna try to bring it back to your low pitch.
Okay.
Nice. Can you say, hello, good morning?
Hello, good morning.
Oh my god, that's not the same person. Hello, good morning, how are you?
Okay.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Okay, nice. Okay, so now what you might want to work with, and I'm sorry because we're a little bit late today, so that's all I can do for you today. But you already have a range that goes already as far down as D3 in terms of pitch. I'm honestly wondering how low you can go with more practice. I recommend that you get like a pitch monitoring app, either on your phone. If you have iOS, you can do Nail to Pitch. There's also voice tools, and Vocal Pitch Monitor is the one I've been using today on Android. If you're on PC only, you can always use Singing Carrots, which also has like a keyboard. I am not sponsored. Gotta say that every time. But yeah, like D3, very solid. Oh, you got like a hello, good morning, how are you? Now the next step would be to kind of solidify its sound. Go from hello, good morning to hello, good morning, how are you? Kind of like add a bit more vocal fold to mask, add a bit more oomph to the voice. And yeah, you'll get like a mask voice in no time. There you go.
Okay. Nice. Oh.
Yes, thumbs up. Yeah, I can't do thumbs up because this avatar just can't. But yes, thank you, Akemi, for coming up stage. I hope this has been helpful.
Thank
and,
you.
Yeah, applause to Akemi. All right, Shay, shoot. What are the questions?
All right, so we have one question from Discord who asks, what is a good technique to gain control on how to close the palatopharyngeal arch?
The palatopharyngeal arch. You're talking about OPC. So these sounds might be a little bit weird. So the palatopharyngeal arch is referring to a very specific part of the mouth, notably the back walls of the mouth. So I don't have a slide on this, should definitely add it. But it's a very specific part of resonance that you can modify. So if you look at the back of the mouth, you'll see that you have like little palatopharyngeal arch. Yes, that's the right term. I also call them the back walls of the mouth because, you know, we don't need to always go with the scientific lingo, but you can basically close them by doing like a vampire hiss sound, like or like also, you can take inspiration from cartoonish voices such as the Stitch voice, or Hannah means family, or I believe Gollum does it as well. So like my precious, you know, like you have like the back walls of the walls. You have the back walls of the mouth closed like this, and the idea is if you close the back walls of the mouth, that can help you get an extra edge on resonance and get even brighter. So like if like my pharyngeal arches are like closed, like open here, then if I close them a little bit more, then I get like a bit of a boost in brightness. I would say for beginners, this is only to consider if you really struggle with resonance and all the exercises don't help. I try to avoid going off like small bits of voice. This is like very down from person to person in terms of how that is useful. But yeah, using cartoonish voices such as the Mitoise, the Stitch, or the Gollum voice can be really helpful, or practicing like the vampire hiss. I had another teacher friend in the days say it was like a garbage disposal sound, and I mean, it's kind of gross, so I get it. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. So, do we have any other questions?
Right. Yes, we do. So the next question asks, I can mimic a female voice pretty well when I sing, but then it's difficult for me to translate that into actual speaking. Do you have any tips for transferring it?
So, like, struggling to get like a femme voice into your general speech, right? That's the main gist. Honestly, this is like the billion-dollar question. There is no shortcut to this other than practice, practice, practice. I like to think that you might first want to get comfortable with your recordings of your own voice before getting out there and using your voice in a day-to-day life, so that you just feel like a little bit more comfortable using it on a more daily basis. I know what I did is I had some friends with which I talked over Discord. We just played Minecraft, whatever. And that's where I use my voice most of the time. I kind of was setting this challenge of this person does not know me. They don't know my masculine voice. And so I really pushed myself to keep that feminine voice up there. So small challenges like this can be very personal and very different from person to person. So there is no right way to transfer it. So if you can already do the fem voice, then it's a matter of using it more. It might be more of a psychological bias or a psychological struggle linked to most likely voice dysphoria, I would assume. But I don't know if you are dealing with any amounts of voice dysphoria, so that's only me assuming here. But yeah, like finding settings where you can be safe, where people will respect you, is a good way to get comfortable with that. And yeah, so it's all about fighting the psychological biases we have with voice dysphoria. So yeah, I hope that has been helpful. Practice makes perfect, and practice makes things easier. And you said you had a third question, Shay.
Yes, I do. Perfect. When I try to keep my voice in a high pitch, it always drops back down naturally. Is there any voice exercises I can try to keep my voice high for a consistent amount of time?
Okay, so this kind of translates back to the question I answered right before is you got to use your voice more. It comes with time. Try to challenge yourself. I'm going to use my voice, feminine voice, for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 30. Try to make it an hour with friends or with in a social setting where you can use it. If that is too difficult for you, you might want to start and maybe take it back. If your voice keeps dropping down, then maybe you might want to have an exercise that is getting you to stay very consistent. The reason for why your voice might be dropping might be linked to different reasons. Perhaps you struggle to pay attention to the resonance or the pitch, and perhaps it's causing you to drop your voice with time. Sorry, I'm gathering my thoughts here. What I like to do for an exercise or like to advise is to do monotonous exercises. So I'll just get some sentences up here. And so generally speaking, if you try and directly jump into your femme voice, you first set up your voice. Then you get into like a full voice. Then you try and test it with a few words. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Right? And you notice that I'm going like robotic, right? Very monotonous, very flat. I'm not going like, that mad brat sat on that flat mat, right? I'm just going, that mad brat sat on that flat mat. And that can be very useful because generally, if you are still new with feminizing your voice or even masculinizing, it kind of goes both ways. You might want to first play around with monotonous speech so that you can really stabilize it at a certain pitch. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. The crowbar opened the car. The store doors creaked more on the 4th floor. And you can try and do that at different pitches then. The you is no taboo. You grew, it's true. Or rather, for the oo sound, I would rather set it on an oo sound. Ooh, the new you is no taboo. You grew, it's true. And once I get really comfortable doing these monotonous sentences and I notice that my resonance doesn't drop, I can then slowly try to incorporate a bit of an intonation change. Instead of having that mad brat sat on that flat mat, I can first try to bring it up. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Or that mad brat sat on that flat mat, right? And then try and do up and down. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. The idea is that once you start adding in some intonation and some pitch behavior variations, then you kind of get more comfortable moving around in pitch. And what is speech if not moving around in pitch all the time? Otherwise, we would all sound like robots all the time. But this is not what happens because we kind of have a melody to our voice. It's not melody like that mad brat sat on that flat mat, right? Or it's not like that mad brat sat on that flat mat, right? It's a more speech-based melody, and there's like no way to really define it, right? That mad brat sat on that flat mat. So it's like da 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 da, right? So each pitch behavior is different, but that's what I was trying to get to is try to speak monotonously, then break the monotony and thus kind of like get more comfortable moving up and down in pitch. And with time, it gets much more easier. All right, I hope I answered that question.
Perfect, thank you. That's all we have for online questions.
All right, awesome. I'm sorry I missed the Twitch questions, so I hope there was no Twitch question, but yeah. All right. So that will be the end of the workshop, y'all. Thank you, and I hope that I was able to open this new year with some more workshops. There'll be more, with my colleague Rachel. She'll be coming up next weekend on Sunday. There's also Jessa, who does lessons during, or rather workshops during the week. You might already know about those, of course. So yeah. So to wrap it up, hey, my name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization and
voice masculinization.
I have a Discord server. It's called Scientifically Augmented Voice, so SAV, easy to remember. You can find me on Discord or message me at Discord at SavvySav or Savvy_SAV. I teach public lessons on my Discord server and private lessons if you feel like public is too much for you. If you want to do any of these lessons, please reach out in my DMs and we can discuss scheduling over there. So yeah, if you want to learn any of that, my Discord link is over there. And of course, if you have other questions, you can ask them on my Discord or of course on the Trans Academy Discord server in the #voice-training Discord. All right. Thank you all for having me. This was Savvy. I'm out. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.